Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you so much for showing up. So, our focus today is diving into the realm of emotions and exploring effective strategies for regulating them. So, in today's session, we'll begin by exploring the functions of emotions, including the concept of secondary emotions. We'll then transition into discussing cognitive distortions, their impact on emotional regulation, and strategies to combat these distortions. So, by the end of our session, you'll gain a deeper understanding of how emotions and thoughts interact and practical strategies for enhancing your emotional regulation skills. So, understanding emotions and their functions. Let's begin by understanding the critical role of emotions in our lives. So, emotions are internal experiences that shape our thoughts, behaviors, and relationships, acting as signals that offer insight into our needs, desires, and experiences. So, from joy and excitement to sadness and anger, emotions vary widely, and each serves a unique purpose. They act as messengers, conveying our needs and safeguarding us from harm. By tuning into our emotions, we gain insight into what we require for balance and fulfillment, enabling us to navigate challenging situations with clarity and resilience. So, recognizing the protective functions of emotions, such as signaling potential threats or injustice, empower us to respond effectively and advocate for ourselves. So, secondary emotions are like layers added onto our primary emotions, enriching and deepening our overall emotional experience. For instance, imagine receiving criticism from someone close to you. Your immediate reaction might be hurt or anger, which are your primary emotions in response to the perceived attack on your self esteem or worth. However, accompanying these primary emotions, you might also then feel secondary emotions, such as shame or resentment a little bit later on. So these secondary emotions are often more complex and nuanced, adding layers of meaning to our initial emotional reactions. So, by recognizing and understanding both primary and secondary emotions in such situations, we gain valuable insight into our internal world. So, this insight helps us navigate our emotions more effectively, allowing us to respond thoughtfully rather than act um, impulsively. And it enables us to address not only the surface level emotions, but also the deeper layers of our emotional experiences, leading to a more authentic and constructive, leading to more authentic and constructive responses in our interactions with others and ourselves. So here are some questions for you to think about. How do you perceive and understand your emotions? And can you recall a situation where you experienced both primary and secondary emotions? And how did they interact with each other? So feel free to take a minute or two to pause the video and think about your responses to these questions. And when you're ready, please come back. So, building upon our exploration of emotions, let's dive into how our thoughts influence our emotional experiences and how identifying cognitive distortions can enhance our skills in emotional regulation. So, cognitive distortions are like mental filters that color our perception of reality, often leading to irrational, biased, or inaccurate thoughts. These distortions can contribute significantly to negative emotions and overall well being. So, consider black and white thinking, where situations are seen in extremes of good and bad without recognizing the shades of gray in between. So this type of thinking can limit our ability to see the complexity of situations, leading to feelings of frustration or disappointment when things don't align perfectly with our rigid beliefs. Another common distortion is catastrophizing, where we imagine the world, where we imagine the worst possible outcomes in a situation, blowing things out of proportion and causing unnecessary anxiety or stress. So, similarly, personalization involves taking responsibility for events or situations that are beyond our control, leading to feelings of guilt or unworthiness. So, left unaddressed, these distortions can act as fuel for emotional distress and maladaptive behaviors. So they create a distorted lens through which we view the world, influencing our perception and reactions in ways that may not align with reality. So, by identifying and challenging these cognitive distortions, we gain a clear understanding of our thoughts and emotions, leading to a more balanced and adaptive response um, to life's challenges. So here are some questions for you to think about. Can you identify any cognitive distortions you commonly experience? How do these distortions influence your emotional state and behavior? So feel free again to pause the video to take a moment to think about your responses to these questions. Now, you may already have some strategies to challenge and reframe these distortions, but I want to highlight a few more helpful ways to do so. So the first thing I want to talk about is reality testing. So this is a powerful strategy for combating cognitive distortion. It involves examining the evidence for and against our distorted thoughts and challenge their accuracy. So let's try it out with an example. Imagine you receive some critical feedback at work, and immediately your mind jumps to catastrophizing, thinking you'll never succeed. Take a moment to reality test that thought. What evidence do you have that support this belief, and what evidence contradicts it? By examining the situation more objectively, you can begin to see it in a more balanced light. So if you want to try out this exercise, right now you can pause the video and think about what evidence there is against or for this kind of belief. Another effective technique is cognitive restructuring, which involves replacing irrational thoughts with more rational ones. Let's say you catch yourself engaging in black and white thinking, viewing a situation as either all good or all bad. Challenge yourself to reframe that thought. Instead of seeing things in extremes, try to find the shades of gray. For instance, if you make a mistake at work, instead of thinking, I'm a complete failure, you might say to yourself, everyone makes mistakes, and this is an opportunity for me to learn and grow. So now let's take a moment to reflect on these strategies. Which one resonates with you the most? How might you incorporate it into your daily life? And remember, combating cognitive distortions take practice. So be patient and compassionate with yourself as you work towards greater mental clarity and well-being. So, all right, thank you so much for showing up today. And that's all I have for you. I hope you learned something new, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.